Hello and welcome to another episode of the FPL Hangover podcast where we raise the bar and lower the tone on all things FPL related. We are coming to you on the 11th of October. Game week 10 is in the bag and game week 11 is sitting on our plates in front of us, steaming our glasses up, waiting for us to delve in. And here to help me share this main course is my podcast partner in crime, Paddy. How are you getting on, my friend?
I'm getting on good. Not too bad, all things considering. I would like to say happy hump day to all the listeners and to the millions and millions watching at home.
You know it's a Tuesday, right?
Yeah, but they'll be probably listening to it on a Wednesday when they're driving to work and stuff.
Point. That is a good point.
You see, I'm thinking of the listeners.
You're playing chess. I'm still stuck in Snakes and Ladders.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
speaking of chess, you are a few moves ahead in the FPL as well. Yeah, another decent week.
I am a massive lead now. I am about 80,000 places ahead of you.
Yeah.
So,
full 6 points.
Good luck catching me.
Yeah.
Good luck catching me. My dust.
How does it feel to be up this high at 11?
To be the best player on the podcast?
Yeah. How does it feel?
It feels great. Feels great. You know, like Seamus, do you know what it's the apprentice becomes the master. That's the way I would look at it,
I get you.
That's the way it feels. Yeah.
So
I'm trying to be as humble as I can here.
You're doing a fantastic job at it.
Yeah. I think I am probably one of the greatest minds in FPL at the moment.
And the most humble minds in FPL as well.
Oh, of course. You can't have one without the other. Like, they go hand in hand.
They do. No, but you are actually killing it. Another decent week. 76 points for you, I believe.
76 points. An overall rank now of 167k and 7,000 in Ireland.
7k in Ireland, that's nice.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't
we
it?
Might get a few sponsorship deals out of this.
Yeah. If you're listening,
Kinniger, get on to us.
Kinniger beer, get on this ASAP.
But talk us through your game week, my good friend.
Okay, if you want me to.
If I have to.
So, first mistake. And this was gut-wrenching. I chose the wrong keeper.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean...
I took Ward over Pope, and that cost me a point.
You deserve a slap in the head for that, though. Not because of the decision itself, but just because of, turning your back on your 5.2 million goalkeeper in favour of Danny fucking Ward. Are you kidding me?
Well, who were Newcastle playing?
Newcastle were at home to Brentford. 5-1.
Right, okay, and I had Tony up front, and I was like...
I get that.
Yeah, so anyway, I had Trippier anyway, so 7 points from Trippier, 18 points from Cancelo.
Coming good.
That was delightful. Then a point each from these two knobheads. James, who became a victim of Potter roulette. We all thought, Pep. We thought Pep was bad. Potter's fucking lost the plot, and... Well, what was 7 or 8 changes to the Chelsea team?
There was a fuck ton of changes, yeah.
That was fucking mental. Yeah. And Perisic then won as well. So, Perisic is, if I didn't have so many other fires in my team at the minute, Perisic, I would be looking to offload that motherfucker.
Yeah, I think the fact that they have a decent fixture this week makes it a little bit easier to hold on, but I'm with you. I mean... Like he's.
Do you have him?
No, I'm not. I'm not that with you. But I can see the value, and I do think there'll be games this year where he explodes. But he's just rotation risk, isn't he? And Sessegnon played well.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, look, I'm stuck with them for the foreseeable because I've got huge plans, massive plans that I'm not going to discuss yet. But anyway, going into my midfield, my little gerbil, I have Bowen.
You have no idea how many times the people have called me that, and it's just I can't.
I thought I made it up.
No, you didn't.
I rang you today, and I was like, I must give my wee Gerball a call. Oh, there you go. Anyway, so I'm claiming it. Bowen, again, 7 points. So like he's the gift that keeps on giving for me. Just bottoming last week. Martinelli, 12 points. Another one that people kind of lost the faith in when they were getting rid of Arsenal players. Yeah. De Bruyne, 6. Andreas off the bench for Mitrovic, 6. And then Haaland not so good this week. Only the 12 points from the captaincy.
Only the 12, I know.
Yeah, and then Tony 5. So yeah, 76 points. The average was 58. You know, Green Arrow's all around. So
Green Arrow,
over to
top
yeah,
200k for you. I mean, what more do you want? You know?
yeah, top 180k. But yeah, Jer, how did you get on this week?
Not too bad. I will ask you to do me a favour live on air, and it's something I never thought I'd ask. But could you take that jacket off while I call out my team? Just because it's very, very loud in the microphone.
I will indeed.
Thank you, sir. And
I was trying to save the heat in here and the USB bills and all. Like,
I get it, but I mean, the viewers are treated to a guest or a very special.
well, I would do anything for the viewers.
Yeah, so if you are checking this out on YouTube and you have just watched Paddy strip off, then please subscribe if you'd like to see more. Next week, another item of clothing will come off. But yeah, back to my team, Game Week 10, 70 points in total. I didn't realise that your jammy 6 points off the bench for Mitrovic is what separated us this week.
Whoa.
Wow, I'm just saying, not a lot of people. A lot of people got stung by Nico Williams' late appearance in the Villa match last night, the Villa Forest match last night. That stuck a lot of people with.
Oh, it was sweet.
I loved it personally. I love seeing that shit
Me
happen.
too. I masturbated.
That's not a shock, but 70 points, 2 points for Flappy Hansky himself, Cancelo, Hall again, James Sims, yourself, Trippier 7 points, Gay with a disappointing 1. I mean, I won't lie, I did half expect Leeds to get a goal at Crystal Palace, but with Mitrovic's, I decided to go all in and pass. I had Zaha, he got me 5 points, Madison 1, De Bruyne 6, Martinelli 12, Tony 5, and as you mentioned, Haaland with a measly goal this week. Yeah. Could have had 2, did hit the inside
Haaland
the post.
blank this week.
Yeah, essentially for what he's capable of. But as we're recording this on a Tuesday night, we can confirm that Haaland did not play tonight in the Champions League.
Correct.
So I think that'll cement a lot. Not that I would have feared any rotation against Liverpool anyway. It's a big game, but that will have cement a lot of kind of people's captaincy decisions, I'd imagine. And yeah, a big question going into game week 11 will be the captaincy, but we'll get onto that later on. But yeah, 70 points in total. I think a little green arrow saw me push my way up into 247k. When does that start mattering? The overall ranks now that you're 100 and
yeah, it matters. It matters now.
It's starting to take shape now. I'll get you, but everyone is still extremely squeezed into that. I mean, what did you say? There's 80,000 places between myself and yourself, and only 6 points. Only one Poxy Pereira coming off the bench between us.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. So talking points for this week, you kind of hinted at it already. Pot roulette.
Pot roulette, and we're not talking about the Mary J's.
Not this time.
Not this time, but maybe next week.
True.
But yeah, it's fucked.
Do you think it's gonna I guess we gotta see if this becomes a pattern. Like, they did play European football midweek. James obviously with a massive haul in FPL terms against who was it? AC Milan, I think they beat last week.
Yeah, that's right.
So you, as a James owner, you're going, maybe this is the time, and nope, on the bench and comes off the bench for a measly 1 pointer. But Chelsea did put Wolves to the sword 3-0. I guess there's that positive to take out of it, is that maybe if they can kind of string a run of decent performances together, we do start looking. But will rotation become a factor, Paddy?
Right. Well, 100%. And I think there is a really positive way to look at this. The first thing is, if you have more than one Chelsea player, you're fucking playing the game all wrong anyway, Jer. So let's get that out there. Let's not beat around the bush. There's only one Chelsea player you really need to have, and that is James.
Yeah.
Maybe James. Would you agree?
I think
at the moment.
I think James is obviously the standout option, and if I had to, gun to my head, pick a choice, one player, or I'd agree with you. I think James is the standout option, but I think there is a bit of value in there. The likes of Cucurella playing under his old boss, got a 1 bonus point this week, 7 point return. They did keep a clean sheet. Is this the start of Potter tightening Chelsea up a little bit? They were against Wolves, who, to be fair to them, wouldn't score in the brattle. So, I mean, maybe that's made them look a little better than what they actually were. Did you watch the game?
I saw bits of it, but I didn't. I wasn't paying attention. But in saying that, that's a good point. There are some obviously valuable assets you can look at there, but I think James is the main one. And maybe now he was just resting these guys because he's the new manager in there. He wants to make a stamp in the Champions League. And look, maybe James now. He's had his little rest. James will be playing the next game if he doesn't get injured in the Champions League. Something to monitor. But no, I think having James, I think is fine. He's the only one that I would. I like having out of thing. Actually, last week I was saying everything was going through James. It's like James is the man, and so nothing changes in my opinion on James. And I just think at the moment I wouldn't be looking at too many players for Chelsea past James at this stage. So
no, I think it's a fair point. And just to add to that, Paddy, Reece James did start tonight as well in the Chelsea AC Milan match. So who knows, we could be in for a repeat of last week's rotation problems. One to keep an eye on. I mean, I'm obviously Chelsea against... Who are Chelsea against this week?
AC Milan again, same team.
Oh, yeah, that's Champions League. But in the Premier League, they're away to Villa. So, I mean, obviously you're not going to worry about shipping Chelsea assets out. Away to Villa, home to Brentford, United, Brighton, Arsenal. Yeah, they kind of, fucking... start teetering off after the blank, but that's all we really need to be concerned about, I think, for the next couple of weeks is that upcoming blank game week 12 for City and Arsenal. I'm sure lots of our chat tonight will kind of keep bouncing back to that. But moving off of Chelsea, another team who recorded a decent victory this weekend, Manchester United. You may have heard of them.
Oh yeah, them. Yeah. United are improving. But of course. Like we spoke about last week, that City game, I wouldn't even look at that game as a reflection of what United are trying to do this season. I mean, City are going to, they're going to bulldoze most people they play. So United, I thought they played well against Everton. I thought they had a few good chances. They could have had maybe more. But at the very end of that game, I mean, the shite was running down my leg. My T-shirt was stuck to me with sweat. I mean, there was even a guy in our group chat who had... like a 5-team accumulator with all 5 teams both to score and win, and he was waiting on United. And I can tell you, I felt for him watching that game. Chelsea had the goalkeeper up for 2 corners, or sorry, Everton had the goalkeeper up for 2 corners. It was just an onslaught, but United held out and got the 3 points. And a few United players that are definitely looking good as well. In that team, and we can go right and speak about those. You can't ignore Anthony, who's now got 2 goals in 2 games, and he's very attacking. He's 3
goals in 3 games, my friend.
I stand corrected. Yeah. So there you go, 3 goals in 3 games. You can't look past Rashford for value as well. 6.5 million, and Eriksen is doing bits as well. He's plodding along.
Let me throw a name at you. And this is like we've come on to this show pretty cold this evening. Not a lot of FPL talk, and I might be talking madness, but I've got my eye on Ronaldo. Not like he's not he's instantly coming into my team, but he got his 700 goal. Martial's gone off injured again.
Yeah,
is he going to persist? Like that's the question: is he going to persist with playing Rashford up top, or is he going to drop? Is Rashford going to battle for a spot with Sancho on the left, which is kind of what I assumed would happen at the start of the season. And now I'm not sure, but I think like United, just to touch on their overall performance, I think they are improving. I think maybe we're just biased United fans looking at things through rose tinted glasses, but you look at that European match in the Europa League last week when they went 1-0 down. You got flashbacks of that Turkey match from the season beforehand, that match in Turkey, and I was thinking to myself, are they gonna fucking absolutely make a show of themselves again? And they didn't. They came back. They got their 3 points. Came back from 1-0 down, and the same again this week. A cracker of a goal from Iwobi puts United on the back foot, but they come back, get their 2 goals. Looked good for their 2 goals. Rashford did have a goal ruled out, and I'm starting to think, is this what we are starting to expect? What we should be expecting from Ten Hag? A bit of a reaction when they need to change the game, and they got it in the last 2 matches in a row.
Yeah, no, I love that you brought Ronaldo into the fold. Like, I'm sure the ownership must be really low on it. Compared to last season when he came and everyone just was jumping on him, and he had a great season. But I think definitely one to monitor. But for his price bracket, that's the only thing. I know it's still not bad, but I mean,
What price do you think he is?
he's 10 million, is he?
10.2. Yeah.
10.2 million. So I think, and this might be a popular opinion, but I think Rashford at 6.5 could possibly match Ronaldo for
Yeah.
points this season. I mean, Rashford, he's definitely getting into the right places and all, but that with Martial being out now for God knows how long, he's made a Weetabix Martial. He can't just stay in the team. He's But anyway, Ronaldo, we don't know. It could be a game away from like exploding. He's an explosive player, where Rashford would probably take along, get you a goal, maybe an assist.
No, I think that's a great point. I mean, like,
Yeah.
6.5, as you said, for Rashford. Midfielder, so he gets the extra goal point.
Yeah.
He gets the potential clean sheet point if that ever happens. And no, I mean, I'm with you. Like, I do think Rashford is an easy transfer in. If you were looking, I mean, there's just so many decent options for mid price in the midfield area at the moment.
Yeah.
That we called out last week. Your Bones, your Madisons, your Rashfords, your Zahas. But he was unlucky to have his goal chalked off. Well, I mean,
Very unlucky. I thought it was. Do you want to hear something strange about that? If Rashford had squared that ball across and someone had scored it, it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been. It would have been a goal.
Because they wouldn't have went back and reviewed it.
Well, yeah, I think so. I can't put my finger on the actual part of the rule, but I was reading that
it was a handball, wasn't it?
yeah, it was a handball.
Yes.
So if Rashford had have passed the ball and it had been scored, it wouldn't have been chalked off.
Yeah, because that's the new rule.
So,
is like it led directly to a goal as opposed to
yeah. So I mean, that's crazy. And just going back to Rashford, I want to say the same about Rashford in comparison to Anthony. With Anthony with the 3 goals, I still think Rashford for that million less would be the better option for United as well.
Yeah, and I mean it comes with a caveat, as everything does when you do a podcast with Champions League and Europa League fixtures on. It's all, keep an eye on the matches, make sure nothing happens. I mean, Rashford could go off with another injury on Thursday, and this is all moot. But I'm happy to kind of pencil in United assets again, kind of win their fixtures, when the time is right. I mean, this week, decent fixture, home to Newcastle, then toughie, like home to Spurs, away to Chelsea, at home to West Ham. Like, they're, Spurs, Chelsea, they'll be tough ones, obviously, and then West Ham's always a bit of a bogey team for United at home or away. And then Villa in game week 15. So, I mean, like, it's kind of a mixed bag a little bit, but for 6.5, I don't think it really...
Yeah, 6.5, especially when a lot of people will probably be going to 5 midfielders now, because, I mean, there will be a lot of money freed up. I mean, no one has Salah anymore, and you can't blame them. De Bruyne will be sold now pretty soon. It gives you a lot of money. You could beef up that midfield with your Madisons, Rashford, Zahas, Bowens, and Martinelli's, and you can go big up top with your Kane and Haaland if you want. So I mean, at 6.5 million, I think Rashford's a great purchase.
Do you think we're shifting towards, like, with this blank in game week 12 and the fact that people will have to change their team around a little bit, especially the likes of a Salah, well, not a Salah specifically owner, but the likes of a KDB owner, if they chose to come off the mid-priced or the premium-priced midfielders, like, do you think we're going to head that way template-wise in terms of Kane? Because Kane, again, scored this week, so he's chugging along like you'd expect. And I mean, we talked about it last week.
He's only blanked once this season, game week 1. Yeah, I think if you have Kane, you're not getting rid of him at the moment. I think what a lot of people will be doing now, and I mean, what I'm going to be trying to do as well, is I will be coming off my premium De Bruyne. He's a blank in 12, and he's Liverpool now. I don't mind keeping him for the Liverpool game, but I will then make maybe KDB, Foden, and I would like that triple up of Foden, Cancelo, and Haaland. Or you could even have Haaland, De Bruyne, and Foden.
And then
You
that
know,
allows you to kind of, if you were to, we'll say, do the KDB to Foden, that allows you to invest in the likes of Kane, like we were saying.
exactly as well. I could then like get Tony out and put Kane in. And there's lots of things you can do with that extra money, and I'm happy to. I also want to get a piece of the Madison action. I wouldn't mind getting Zaha in there, but last week I was saying like we have to keep an eye on Game Week 12, but with one eye on Game Week 12, you really have to keep an eye on Game Week 13 because that's you'll want to bring your no, but you'll want to bring your Arsenal players back.
Yeah.
You definitely want to have like you must have three City after Game Week 12.
I mean, I'm with you. I think you could.
You must.
Like you touched on Arsenal there. I mean, City, it's almost redundant at this stage because we've just been talking about them all season, and rightly so. But like Arsenal, top of the table, I think. I'm pretty sure. Don't look at the table this year, but at this time of year, but pretty sure they're fucking top of the table. That's what I heard after the Liverpool match. Put Liverpool to the sword, 3-2. Big win for Arteta's guys, and yeah, I mean Saka. Big haul, Martinelli haul again. Jesus with another assist. I'm with you. I think Game Week 12 passes by. You do look at Arsenal. I mean,
yeah, you have to. You have to have one eye on both these fixtures. Like you're chatting about Kane. I'm actually probably going to put some of that De Bruyne money and bring Jesus back.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and I'm glad I held on to Martinelli though. That was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, I mean, you yourself and Seamus, when I did my wildcard in that amazing episode 150 live stream, I asked you both, like, should I get off Martinelli now with the blank coming up, tough fixtures for Arsenal in the sense of they had Liverpool this week, and I can't remember who was the week before, but yeah, you both just kind of scoffed at me.
We were adamant.
Yeah, you said hold on to him, don't, and you were on the money. I mean, what was it, 12 points this week? I think Saka is he's shaking off that kind of not pre-season, but that early season slow form, I suppose is what you could put it. I mean, he did get an assist in the first match of the year, but he hadn't scored until Game Week 6. Yeah, he hadn't scored until Game Week 6, and now he's got 5 in the last 4.
Yeah, he's another player that definitely have eyes on for 13 going forward after 12. Yeah,
5
he's on penalties.
Last 4, sorry, just to clarify. Well, that's the big thing. Is no, you're right, penalties. Well. Yeah, not a massive shock. I think that was established a little bit last year. We did have a freak Martinelli penalty, I believe, in Game Week 38. If I haven't destroyed all the brain cells, but we had a brief Martinelli penalty taken. So maybe, if memory serves me correctly, they were talking about like rotating penalty takers, but I can't remember. But it's a big Girl Scout badge on his Girl Scout vest for Saka, and a decent price, 7.8 million. Again, another mid-priced option in the middle of the field.
I mean, the people that have held on to Trent, if there is any, and Salah,
there definitely is loads.
There is so much that they can now do, albeit maybe a bit too late. No, you're never too late. But with that money that you can bring back into your team, there's so many good investments in there now, like Saka's, Martinelli's, Bowen's, we've mentioned a good few there.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, Jesus, you talked about he would be potentially on your, like, after post-game week 12, Arsenal have an away match at Southampton before a lovely home fixture at Forest. So, I mean, I'm with you, leaning back towards, there is the yellow card hanging over his head.
Yeah, it would be great if he just got that out of the way this week, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if he got it this week, then he'd miss that game week 13 match, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, because they've got the blank.
So, like, it would have been better if he just got it out of the way last week, and now we wouldn't have to shit ourselves when he goes up against
But no,
Leeds.
it's good. It's good to bring that up, though. It's good to bring that up. It's, you could maybe that might sway you to go with Saka for a while.
Yeah.
Until Jesus gets that out of the way, that bull's out of the way, because the last thing you want is that you bringing him in, and the next thing he misses the next game, Yeah. But no, Arsenal definitely one of the teams to target after the blank and stuff.
Yeah, team to try and get back onto. I mean, we talked about City assets, but I don't think there's much point really breaking them down too much. Same every week, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what the story is. I think having three City players is a must. It's picking what three, but I mean it's not even. I mean it's either Cancelo, De Bruyne, Haaland, Foden, De Bruyne.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's
I
it.
think that's the two options. And as someone who's had Cancelo since the start of the season, and a
Hmm.
big advocate of paying that price for the fullback, I'm delighted to see 18 points.
Yeah, amazing. And you know what? He's a midfielder. You're paying that premium price. He's 7.5 or whatever he is. I don't know what he is now, but
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Speaking of midfield assets, another you mentioned him when you went through your team, Jarbone also on penalties. It
Yeah,
would seem that kind of came out of nowhere.
yeah, Jared Bowen and penalties. Like what's up there? Does Antonio was he on the pitch? I didn't see the
I
game,
don't think he was.
so maybe that's why. So just tread carefully there. Like, but I didn't bring Bowen in for the penalties. Anyway, I brought Bowen in because I think he's a smashing player and his fixtures are nice. And well, they're decent. They were decent for when I brought them. I've got my returns from the two fixtures that
That you were
I
targeting.
had my that I was targeting, and he's Southampton next, and then he's Liverpool,
Yeah.
and then they have Bournemouth. So the fixtures are still nice, and Bowen's ticking along lovely. He's a nice price. Well, I think he might have rose now to 8.1,
Well, I think he was already
but
8.1. I think he dropped from 8.5 all the way down to 8.1. And yeah, he's still sitting at 8.1.
all right. Well, that's brilliant. He's only 5% owned as well,
Yeah.
so
See, it's
you know.
mad when again, we kind of talk about it every so many episodes, but like when you're involved in a FPL community, be it forums, Reddit, Twitter, whatever it is, you do kind of get sucked into this. Oh, everyone's got Jared Bowen. Like I feel like because I don't have Bowen, that
Yeah,
I'm fucked when he does anything. And yeah, to be fair, he does a bit of damage because some of the higher up ranks would have him, but 5%, 5% owned.
5%
Yeah,
from 10 million.
5% owned. I'm like,
Yeah,
is that really that?
it's the bubble, isn't it? The Twitter bubble, or if you're on these forums, or like they make you think he's the most owned player in the world. But now there you go. But that's another reason to actually take note of these little things. At 5% owned, and what has he got? 21 points in his last two games.
Yeah, after blanking all season, he's
Yeah.
gotten 2 goals and assists in his last two, and as you mentioned,
But in fairness,
go on.
we only start chatting about Bowen when you were wildcard, when people were using their wildcard around game week 7 onwards. We weren't really, people might have brought Bowen in at the start because of last season, but for me and whoever else had Bowen, I think we only start really talking about him from game week 7 onwards.
Yeah, I mean like those
And
those game week
yeah,
8 wildcarders like yourself, Petty. That
mm,
Everton match that looked pretty tasty, and then as you said, Wolves, Fulham. You knew there was going to be a
yeah,
couple of goals in it, and
and the same for the people that brought Madison in, like and got that hat trick and or
yeah.
whatever the fuck he got.
Before we tip on to Madison, though, just another West Ham player that has continued his good form, Skamaka.
Oh
79
yes,
minutes, another goal in their 3-1 win. So who knows? Maybe this could be the start of something beautiful. Again, we've talked about the decent set of West Ham fixtures. There is a bit of a fight at the moment for forward spots. You only have the three of them, so bit of a fight. But yeah, he's putting his name into the hat there now.
yeah. I seen a few people take a punt on him on the Twitter sphere last week. He was heavily spoken about. I think we mentioned him as well. He was your puck
He
fada.
was my puck fella. Yeah,
Congratulations. So we'll get to that later. But so there you go. We were talking about him and he delivered. So
he did.
he's definitely someone to he's budget price as well, isn't he?
He is. And speaking of budget price,
You have
Andreas for in that match also picking up a goal for Fulham,
yeah.
the consolation goal. So I mean, like, what more do you want from a 4.5 midfielder?
That was one of the reasons why I didn't bother using my transfer on Mitrovic. I just left Mitrovic on the pitch and I had Andreas for sub and I thought why like I was happy having that knowing that Andreas if Mitrovic didn't start that Andreas was coming on for that game.
Yeah, no, I mean like we
Yeah.
talked about the people who did obviously get boned by not having him in the first or second sub spot, but I
Mhm.
mean I think you're right. I think like he offers incredible value, and you'd be more than happy to play play him if you're stuck. And I think
Yeah.
you not making a transfer last week was probably the most shocking thing I've seen since the start of the season.
Yeah, I thought it was very mature of me.
It was. You are developing
Yeah.
into potentially the greatest FPL mind on the planet.
Thank you. I feel it. Yeah, and I thought that decision really catapulted me up there with the Magnus Carlsens and the generals,
Fabio
of
Borges.
yeah, and the Mark Southerns and the Hindu monkeys of the FPL world.
Before you know it, you'll have moved on to greener pastures, Paddy, and
Yeah. What game am I going to win next?
yeah, who knows? Chess. Just take up chess.
Maybe.
Do the opposite of Carlson. But you did talk about James Madison, a blank, disappointing return for anyone that jumped on the Madison bandwagon this week as opposed to the week previous. It's always the way, isn't it? Massive haul followed by disappointing. I think it was like a 1 point return. You got a yellow card as well.
Jesus, and you know what? I was looking at him and I was like, I wish I had Madison, but there you go.
4 yellows. That's 4 yellows for him now. So
is he ready for? He's ready for a wee cancellation as well.
He gets one more and he's suspended. And with their fixtures, Crystal Home Palace, Leeds home.
This is a very informative podcast tonight.
I know.
It's full of. I mean, this is gold. We should have kept this for our Patreon.
It's it's what happened when I drink. It's what happens when I drink Club Lemon as opposed to.
Why would you ruin it? Showing us that.
I didn't show it. Yeah,
why are you even? You're drinking at the weekends now.
I'm not drinking at the weekends. I had a drink at the weekend.
Right. So what? So why are you drinking Club Orange?
It's Club Lemon.
Lemon one.
It's Club Lemon
too. Yeah.
Why not?
Well, usually you have a beer here.
Yeah, I know. Well,
so what? So you're off alcohol for October?
For yes, at least during the week.
Oh, so now last week you're off it for October.
Oh, right? I'm whittling my way down. Before you know it.
Last week he's off alcohol, right, for October, and this week he tells me he had a drink at the weekend, and now he's drinking Club fucking Lemon.
Yeah, it's alcohol
free. Next, he's telling me that. Oh, I'm just off alcohol during the week.
No, I'm not even getting into it.
I'm going to drink at the weekend.
Back to the show.
Bench drinker.
All right, but I think that's.
Jesus
is there much we're leaving out of the game week 10?
Yeah, no, there's loads. What about the Zaha owners? What about the Zaha? Give them their fucking. They brought Zaha in this week. They might have got 5 points. What about the Solanke owners? 2 assists.
That's fair, actually. That's fair. I mean,
credit to you guys. The Solanke shuttle is fucking going. It's on.
No, I can't abide by this Solanke bullshit.
And what about the Newcastle guy, Almiron? Holy fuck, where did he come out of? 2 goals last week, another one this week.
I'm just baiting through him. I can't open him up fast enough on the screen.
Guacamole. What about Guacamole? Or Guinamares?
Fake Bruno.
Yeah, fake Bruno. Wow. I mean, these are little snippets, sprinkles of players that you would like to have over your main team. Anyone who brought in Zaha, anyway, delighted for you. Delighted for you. But anyway, 5 points. It was decent, wasn't it?
I'm a Zaha owner, and I was happy. I'll take it.
They hung on. Did it come near the end?
It did, but they didn't hang on. They were in the ascendancy for the entire second half. Leeds hung on to 2-1. It should have been probably a bit more to Palace. But yeah, no, I'll take the assist. The decent fixtures: Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Forest, Fulham. I mean, I think that's why everyone was kind of leaning towards Zaha anyway. He had the
he had the fixtures.
He had the fixtures and he had the form.
So
yeah.
why are you so anti Solanke then? He has the fixtures. He got 2 assists. I mean, they've still got great fixtures. I mean, is he off the table for you? Is he off the table for?
I think
for the listeners?
He got 2 assists and he was playing Leicester. So I mean, what does that mean? Do you know, anyone can get 2 assists against Leicester this season, except Forest.
I hope Sam Martin doesn't listen to this. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's just
Leicester
have been shocking defensively. It had been shocking all around, really, except for that Forest match. And I don't know. I just feel that I'd rather have either a 4.5 striker and have that extra mil in my back pocket than use it on Solanke. But I mean, I get it. He needs must. He's one of those players. If you can put that million towards someone else, that you're happy with, maybe turning. But there's just so much fucking value. Like, I don't know why you need to turn to a Solanke. That's the thing. There's so
Well,
much.
yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe people have the perfect team and they just think
I just don't
I'm
think
gonna have a bit of
Bournemouth are going to
fun.
score a lot of goals. I think that's my
Right. Okay.
problem.
Do you know what? Write this fucking down in your notebook there.
This
Right.
is
Write down.
recorded. This goes out on air. I don't need to write anything down.
Yeah, I'm gonna check Solanke. It's gonna be a Solanke corner every week. The Solanke shuttle.
The Solanke shuttle. Okay, well, you can check back in.
Yeah.
Why
Well, I
don't you
will.
get him in your team if you're so fucking...
Because I don't need him. I have the perfect
You
team.
have
I'm the
Mitrovic.
fucking
You could
greatest
just
FPL
downgrade
mind.
Mitrovic to Solanke.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. You and your club living, supping away. I'm happy. But just want to chat about my old mate, right? Who will be driving to work or wherever the fuck he is, and his luck. He had Almiron, right?
Okay.
2 weeks ago. Sold him before he had him.
No.
Sold him before the 2 goals. Brought wanted to free up money to bring in James. Does all that. Almiron again a goal this week. James benched. He just can't catch a break. I mean, it's just. I mean, Brian, keep the faith, mate. Keep the faith.
Just keep listening to you, Paddy. That's all he needs to do.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do. But I mean, I think he might be near the bottom of our mini league this week.
Oh, yeah? So, does bottom place get a prize this year?
No, they're just like. It's all about the pride, isn't it?
It is.
It's in the WhatsApp group, you know.
Yeah. But you mentioned the mini league, so let's turn
good segue.
Yeah, no, it was a perfect segue. Time for this week's mini league.
Dun, dun, dun. Let's hope I don't fuck it up. It's never me that fucks it up anyway. It's the fucking.
You fucked it up last week.
Yeah, I did fuck it up.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so I don't know how you feel about this, Ger, but we've got a new number 1. And this new number 1, I've done my research, and this Mr. Richard Wayhinger has just joined the mini league this week.
We welcome him in, Paddy. No.
Yeah. I mean, I welcome him in, but I'm not buying him a pint.
Well, I mean,
he just joined, but.
We left the mini league open, and it's still open till the end of October. So anyone who wants to join is welcome, and he is more than one of them. I mean, like, look, there's always that you're having a good season, you start joining all the mini leagues. After a couple of months, you're like, well, maybe I actually win these. I don't.
He heard about the flask.
He heard about the flask, and he wants it. And
he heard about the flask. And poor Emil Seidlich was winning that quite comfortably.
Yeah, he had a decent.
And he was top for the last couple of weeks. And now he's in second.
Why don't you bait through the top 10 for us, though, Paddy?
Okay, Richard Winghinger, new entry this week, number 1. Emil Seidlich, number 2. Eddie Friel in there at number 3. Paul O'Gorman in there at number 4. Danny Watkins, number 5. Attar Basri, number 6. Cameron North, 7th. Gavin O'Reilly, 8th. Is that your man from Mexico?
Nope.
No, it's not.
No.
Scott Kent, number 9. And Paddy Pa, number 10. And I'm just going to do number 11 because it's Cahill Byrne, FPL Crypto.
Yep, friend of the show.
Where's Cal? Is Cal still on Twitter? I never see him tweet anymore. I miss him.
I don't know where he is. He might have be taking a break from the old Soch, but
okay, Cal, if you're listening, reach out.
Yeah, and he's absolutely
Send
flying
me
it this year.
Is he? Oh well, he obviously is if he's in 11th. Yeah.
But that's not all, Paddy. You have plenty more for us with the mini league.
Of course I do. The manager of the week, it would have been Tony McBride and Malara McD on 84 points, but the new guy who just signed up this week not only is number 1, but is also manager of the week with 85 points. He picked his week, didn't he? Richard Wayhinger. So well done, Richard.
How you haven't shortened his name to Dick yet, I don't know.
Dick Wayhinger. So, and well done to Tony as well. Tony is a man here who lives down the road from me.
Okay, and he had a great week.
Okay, great. And he would have been the manager of the week if Dick Wayhinger hadn't have popped in. But, look, I can't hold it against Dick.
No.
For wanting to join the greatest mini league the world has ever seen. Anyway, let's talk about the Walk of Shame. And the Walk of Shame goes to David Iomade, who got 29 points. He shares that with Donald Gamafi, who also got 29 points. That's pity. How do you get 29 points? Like what? I would want to go and research that now and look at his team. Glenn Scully, 35 points.
Ooh,
Claire.
friend of the show, Glenn.
Oh, Glenn, you done shite this week, lad. Claire McCahill, 35 points. Rubbish as well. Frank Fallon, 40 points. Rahib Sharahar, 40 points. Oh my god. We should just call this Casuals Corner. Barry McNamara, 41 points. Donal Hurley, 41 points. Paul Galloway, 42 points. Callum O'Donnell, 43 points. Absolute. Just delete your team. And let's go on over here now till we see Transfer Genius. And that goes to Alan O'Sullivan.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know him? Do you know him?
No, I don't.
Alan O'Sullivan made 2 transfers and he netted himself 12 points from these. And he got rid of Trent Alexander to Trippier and he got rid of Isak to Tony. So there you go.
Not bad moves.
No, not bad at all. Let's check the... Oh my god. Sack the Scout. Worst transfer, Zach Doty.
Okay, intriguing. I always like this one.
I love these. It's the pain I love. 2 transfers, a -4, netted himself -20 points total from 2 transfers and a hit. So he went Saka to Foden, and he went Cancelo to Dyer.
So he's prepping himself. Well, I was going to say he's prepping
right.
himself for the blank, but he did get another City player in on top of it. So kind of.
Yeah, strange one. Anyway, he's 128th in the league, so he's lost cause. Also, we've got just a notable mention here for Havard Norum, who made 4 transfers at a -12 and netted himself -13. Perisic to Schär, Andreas to Rashford, and Mitrovic to Greenwood. And last but not least, do we know Stephen Scully? Sounds like a...
Yep, another friend of the show. Brother of Glenn.
Wow. The Scully brothers are fucking... They're all over it here tonight. Anyway, he's the 3rd worst transfer. 2 transfers, -4. Netted himself -11. Done Tony to Aubameyang. And he done Salah to Sterling. Absolute dog shit. And last but not least, bench wanker is Peter Kinsella, who had 22 points laying on his bench, flushed those down the loo. Charles Byrne, 19 points, and Seamus Kennedy, 13. And that is the mini league roundup.
Excellent. Thank you for that,
It
Freddie.
went well this week.
It did. How do you have so many points in your bench? I'm just still focused on that 20-pointer.
22 points? Who the fuck has he got in his bench?
It must be maybe it's just some rando kind of... I have no idea. I can't think of it.
Madness.
But you know yourself, those things always...
Anyway, sucks to be him.
Sucks to be him, is right. But that is our mini league roundup, and if you do want to join, the code should be on your screens now. For the audio listeners, it's PK3DFT, PK3DFT. And that will stay open until the end of October, and at which point we will shut the gates firmly. So that wraps up our Game Week 10 review. It's our mini league is done. I believe now we just have the small matter of captaincy. Now, I guess for a lot of shows and articles, this is becoming a redundant article based on the exploits of a certain Norwegian meatbag. But this week does pose a bit of a question.
Yeah, because Ger, this could be a week where he who dares, Rodney. You could say, I mean, like, you could, well, I mean, I don't know. No, you probably won't. But it is a week if you wanted to be brave, you might venture out.
So, just for the uninitiated, Haaland obviously away to Liverpool this week, Game Week 11. When you look around, though, Paddy, at potential captaincy options, I mean, there's a few odd ones that stick there. I think the glaringly obvious one is Spurs at home to Everton. But...
you could go Kane, yeah.
Yeah, Kane or a Son. But, I mean, Everton have tightened up a bit this season. I mean, I don't know what last week's match has done to the stats, but up before that, I think they were 6 points behind Liverpool. So, they were the best, technically, the best defense in the league. So there is that kind of caveat, but it is, Spurs decent win against Brighton at the weekend, and a home match against Everton. You got to be looking there for outside chances. But do you think it's worth it over Haaland? I mean,
yeah, no, I like. You know what? You've built that up well, but I can't see it because Liverpool are depleted. They're finished. Salah, they're done. They've no maybe actually Trent now being out injured might be a good thing for them, but
they are at home this week though.
They are at home. It doesn't matter to Haaland. Doesn't matter to Haaland. He'll eat them for breakfast.
I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to that match, I must say. It is also the last match of the game week, which I always like having my captain on the last match of the game week. If I can, I don't let it, cloud my judgment. Try not to let it cloud my judgment, but I do quite enjoy it, and it is such a, based on his stats and his form and everything about him, it's still a bit of a no-brainer to me. But if you're, if you've had a poor start to the season and you're looking to kind of capitalize, as you said, make a break for it this week, there's a few fixtures out there. I mean, I would have been all about Fulham at home to Bournemouth, 2 weeks ago, but had Mitrovic not suddenly, picked up a knock in the international duties, blah, blah, you're thinking, oh, that's a decent match. Although, again, Bournemouth have tightened up somewhat, but, still a decent fixture. Leicester.
Yeah, it definitely is. That could be a goal fest.
It could be. I mean, with your man Solanke playing, I don't see why not.
It could be like a 3-3 or a 6-6 thriller. That would definitely be one. Another one, Ger, you're probably going to say is the Arsenal versus Leeds game. You've got a couple of captaincy options there.
100%. Yeah, we do. We spoke about Arsenal's fantastic start to the season, and Leeds are they're no solid unit. I mean, I would expect Arsenal to get a couple of goals at Elland Road. Elland Road, is that Leeds?
Elland Road. Yeah.
So yeah, I would expect a couple of goals. Good show, Paddy. I think Leicester at home to Crystal Palace will be an interesting one. I'm not, now that I have Gahey in my team, I'm 100% not convinced that they're going to start keeping clean sheets, and I'm a little worried. And I'm thinking, oh, that could be another goal fest. James Maddison could pop back up with another hat trick.
Very, very, very true. And suppose another one is looking at the West Ham and Southampton game. We're stretching it now, but I mean, Southampton aren't very good defensively either, and West Ham they have a couple of players there that might, like Jared Bowen, might just pop up.
Yeah,
again.
Another proxy penalty.
Yeah.
And then I suppose the last game would be United at home to Newcastle. I think there's always a couple of goals in that game. It's not a stat I like to rely on. But I would expect there to be a few goals in that, and who knows? Maybe this is the week Mark Rashford comes good for you.
Yeah, and then what about Chelsea and Aston Villa? If you actually have any Chelsea players,
I actually don't think that's a decent match for goals. I think.
Who are we kidding anyway? We're all putting the captaincy on Haaland, so I mean, like.
Well, that leads me to the next question. Yeah, exactly. Is there any doubt in your mind?
No doubt in my mind. It's Haaland all the way, 100%. Just the fear of not even having him captain would be devastating.
Yeah, over 200% last week. Did you see that? Effective ownership?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, we're just playing with 10 players now.
I tried to keep the EO talk to, a bit of a minimum, but to see a player in a single game week be over 200% owned, effective ownership wise, I was surprised. I didn't think it could pass it that easily. But yeah, boom. So essentially, it's probably a good thing he didn't do a rake of damage last week. So with that in mind, any transfers planned?
Well, yes, we were kind of speaking about it off air. I have 2 free transfers, Ger, and crazy. I mean, yeah, I know. And it's a nice feeling, but I'm not going to blow the load. I'm not going to, nut both of them all over the place. I'm going to
makes a change.
I've Gordon there who was a mistake. even the best managers in the world can admit to their mistakes. And Gordon in my wild card was just not one of my finest moments. So I'm going to probably move Gordon to Rashford.
Interesting.
Yes, Gordon. I have money in the bank to go Gordon to Rashford, and I will keep De Bruyne. A lot of people will be selling De Bruyne, and
77 minutes tonight in the Champions League.
yeah, yeah, I think there'll be a few sales of De Bruyne because they're playing Liverpool, and people will be also getting preparing for the game week 12 blank.
Can I shock you, Paddy?
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury, star of TV, film, and theatre, dies, age 96. I'm sorry, breaking news.
Who's she?
Murder, She Wrote.
Oh my
I
god.
know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bring the tone of the podcast down.
Fuck.
Yeah.
No, that's that. She is a legend.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let's keep it rolling.
No. It's good to have that breaking news in there. No, that's changed my plans.
Yeah, Gordon stays.
Gordon stays now. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean the De Bruyne conversation is interesting, Betty, because I hokey cookied it. That was my decision last week. I decided, no, stick with what I was thinking of my wild cards. I could have attacked Salah against Brighton in game week 10 or game week 9, and I planned to switch, and I did switch, and I don't know. I mean, now the question is, do I roll the transfer into game week 12, or do I just get De Bruyne out now?
No, I think if you can have 2 transfers for next week, that would be so much more powerful to you, especially going into 13 then, where you want to bring some of these superstars back. Like, I mean, like, there's no harm in having De Bruyne this week against Liverpool.
You're not wrong.
There's not. I mean, and another thing, I always think it's now, like, I try to live by this. I can't remember which wise manager told me. Maybe my great grandfather, but
no cars before Marbs.
Yeah, no cars before Marbs, exactly. But if you have a fire in your team, fix that fire first. Like, De Bruyne is not a fire in your team. Gordon is a fire in my team.
Yeah, true.
He's stinking the place up. It's worse than Jeffrey Dahmer's fucking apartment.
But it's not that much of it. Let's not overreact. I mean, like,
well, he's red carded. He's shit. He's going to drop in value.
Yeah.
And I can get in a nicer player for him and keep De Bruyne.
I 100% think that your Gordon to Rashford move is a good move, and yeah, I'm not.
Well, you would think it's a good move because you suggested it, Ger.
I know I suggested.
And I look, but let's not. I would have, when I went to bed tonight after the podcast and I was playing Clash Golf, I would probably have thought of Rashford myself anyway.
What's Clash Golf?
Oh, the greatest app ever.
Is it one of those free games that just charge
free
you
games,
money?
so addictive. Clash Golf. Yeah, it's amazing. It doesn't charge you money; it's free. But I would have probably thought of Rashford before I went to sleep. But I thank you for suggesting him, and that's probably going to be my transfer. Yeah.
So getting back to me, if we could, you know, maybe not focus on you for the entire fucking show.
Well, I am the pedigree manager here at the moment.
Touche.
This season. Sorry.
Touche.
This season.
That's fair. But yeah, you think hold KDB when I could just transfer him to Son for that home match against Everton? I mean, KDB's not playing in game week 12. See, just
so do you want to have Son in your team going forward, or would you not rather have the 2 free transfers then when you get to 12 and think, you know what, I want to bring back in maybe a couple Arsenal boys. I want to get my 3 City back.
Well, I'm not going to be getting Arsenal in game week 12, but I get you. I understand what you're saying.
For after 12.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get. Yeah, you're talking a lot of sense.
You're just going to hokey your whole life.
My whole. That's all my life is now. It's just one big hokey. I'm drinking. I'm not drinking. But no, look. The plan was to not captain Haaland against Liverpool this weekend. This was the plan. Oh yeah, this was the plan.
The club orange is killing
3 hat-tricks ago, probably. You know, and now I'm just going, why am I even thinking that? Like, the plan was Son comes in, I captain Son at home to Everton. And now I'm thinking you're right. I actually think it's just stick with KDB, ship him out next week, because I don't want a premium.
Bank your transfer.
Bank my transfer and...
be in a stronger position going forward.
I think it's Spurs fixture in game week 12 that's putting me off a little bit. It's that match against United.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the United fan in me that just doesn't want that. I don't want to see a premium asset against. I could always, swap him to Salah, which again was the original plan. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think for me it's a hole now, and it used to be plain sailing all the way through. But you've made me see sense, Paddy, and for that I'll be eternally grateful.
Yeah, I know, and like I just look at it. Just wanted to go in and look at Son for a little second. Like you would be just getting him in for the Everton game's beautiful, and then you'd be kind of like, got United next.
Yeah,
and then they do have a couple of nice fixtures after. They have Newcastle and Bournemouth.
well, that's what I'm saying. They're next,
and then they have Liverpool, and then they have Leeds. It's just a lot of money, I think, tied up in there as well.
Yeah, especially when there's so much value in midfield at the moment.
And I mean, it's not like he's setting the place alight like he usually does.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not.
He's like 6 points Brighton, 2 points. I know he had the 19, but before that, he was Jesus Christ from game week 1 to game week 6.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely, he got more points in game week 8 than he did for the whole 1 to 6 or game week 8 than he did for the whole right up until that. So I don't know. I mean, it could pay off against Everton, but I think that you'd have more control over your team having that extra transfer, and I think you'll sleep better at night.
What is the world coming to when you make that much sense, Paddy? I do not like it. I do not like it one bit. But before we wrap up the show, let's throw over to this week's puck fadas.
Oh yeah.
Now you alluded to my good fortune this week. I have taken the W, and Skamaka coming good. You're still plainly in the lead.
I hope so. Do you have the stats?
I do not have the stats. You know full well I don't have the stats.
Yeah, well, I just asked you last week to have the stats there.
You did. And then, full-time job gone the fucking way.
Yeah, well, priorities, sure.
I know.
Gerbil.
I should. But I won last week. Skamaka came good with his goal. You blankety blanked with Gundogan, and Seamus, who did have a bit of a bitch about Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, but look,
he was so upset by it, he forgot to do his fucking pick again this week. So guess who your pick is for game week 11, Seamus? It's Danny
Welbs.
Yeah, it's the Webster.
Yeah. Well, just even call him Welbs just to annoy him even more.
Yeah.
You're on Welbs.
And I'm saying this now on air. You're not changing it now. That's punishment for 2 weeks in a row.
He did try to change it. Who did he try to change it to?
Vardy. We fucked that up too.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can't pick the same player 2 weeks in a row. But guess what? You got Danny Welbeck again because you had Vardy last week. So yeah, Paddy, you are the reigning champion. Why don't you call out this week's long shots, puck fadas, punts, differentials?
I am going to go with my puck fada this week is going to be Ericsson, 3.3% ownership, playing against Newcastle. I like what's going on there. He is the master midfielder of that team. I mean, he is.
Bruno be damned, you say.
Bruno be damned. At the price he is as well, he is my puck fada, my punt. And yours is who?
I'm going to a team that I said today does not score a lot of goals. They would score in the Brattle, and I've completely, being the hypocrite that I am, I've decided to punt on Diego Costa. I think Wolves have a decent match.
The Club Lemon effect.
Yeah. Wolves home to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest can't keep a clean sheet for love nor money at the moment. And I think this is going to be the start of it. He's building his minutes up. I think he got 50 odd last week and 20, 30 the week before. So I expect a start for him this week and him to punish a Nottingham Forest defence. So yeah, Diego Costa for me. Definition of a puck fada. If he's a percent owned, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I think that's decent. So yeah, Ericsson. I think I'm feeling confident.
You think you're going to take me down this week?
I think I'm going to take you, and definitely going to take Seamus. Just before we wrap everything up, I also put out a call for questions.
You did.
Now, I probably should put the call for questions out maybe the day before we pod instead of the minute before we start recording.
Before we literally hit the record button.
Yeah, I just do that. I just put my can of Guinness, my pint glass, and I'm like, right, if you get a question, you're lucky, it gets answered. You become one of the chosen ones. And one eagle-eyed viewer goes by the name of FPL Fairy, Steve.
Another friend of the show. He's been on the
Friend
show
of
a
the
couple
show,
of times.
friend of life.
He's a friend
One of our
life.
sea buddies, Viking dippers. You know, anyway, question for the pod: who's looking forward to pints and giggly water in Galway?
I feel like that's not a question. I feel like that's a goddamn cheap plug.
That is a goddamn cheap plug, but I'm all for it because I am fucking looking forward to pints, and I will have some giggly water in Galway.
Yeah, no, I'm joking. I'm delighted to plug it. FPL meetup, Irish FPL meetup, Galway, November the 12th. On Pucon. There's going to be a bunch of FPL fans there. We had a lovely meetup in Donegal. Hopefully this one continues that trend. And yeah, if you want to get down, meet some like-minded individuals, meet Paddy. Congratulations.
Meet the greatest mind in FPL.
Yeah, buy him a pint.
We'll be there.
We'll be there, and we'd love to see you and catch up with Fairy and Era and all the rest of it. So, if you want to check out and get more up-to-the-date information with that shit, Twitter, I assume, FPL Fairy and at FPL Era, they'll be the ones organising it, so you'll get all the information there. So check those guys out. And if they bothered their arse to send us some advertising material, I could have put this on the screen, but no. They haven't. They're lazy. They're lazy. You know, that's what we've always said about Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind heart, but lazy.
Kind heart, lazy bastard.
Lazy bastard.
Yeah.
But good.
Great hair.
He has great hair. Yeah, he has great hair. That's
great abs.
I mean, we could just sit here all day.
Great jaw structure.
But terribly misogynistic though.
Yeah.
But
horribly.
Let's leave it there, Paddy. Where can everyone find you?
They can find me at FPL Viking _ on Twitter. They can find me at the Viking Dippers on Instagram, and they can find me at FPL Viking _ on TikTok.
Excellent. Make sure to drop him a follow. If you would like to reach out to us, you can find us on Twitter at FPL Hangover, and if you do want to send an email, even though I know Paddy hates this bit, it's fplhangover@gmail.com. People still use emails, Paddy. I'll just have you know.
Did we get any 5-star reviews on?
Did we get any 5 stars? Can you? I couldn't open my door this morning.
Oh fuck! Too many to name out then.
Couldn't find the key.
Right. Well, so if you want to get your name read out and slaughtered, or not praised by one of the 2 greatest FPL minds.
Oh, thank you.
Me more so at the moment. In the FPL universe, we will do that for you. I'm not even lying. It's free.
Yeah.
Just 5-star review, and we will say something cool about you.
We will, even if it is a complete fabrication. But do like the pod, subscribe, all the usual tigmajig. Enjoy your game week 11, everybody. Paddy, thank you for the conversation this evening.
Yeah, and the inspiration.
And to everyone else.
No problem. Yeah. Have a good Wednesday. You're nearly at Thursday, which then means you're nearly at Friday.
And then it's drinking time. God bless.
All right.